everybody, Caleb here at the Rosa String Works Workshop. Today we've got some Singing Cowboys. This guitar brought in by a customer. I think he said this was his first real guitar. Really, it's in for just a quick setup. You know, he doesn't want to spend a whole lot on this, but he wants it playable. So I'm going to set it down and show you what we're working with. So if I run a straight edge down these frets, we hit this bridge kind of low. It's got some more problems than the customer really wants to spend on. So we're going to try to do this the most affordable way we can. We're going to probably cut this bridge down a little bit. We don't want to cut it down too much, but we are probably going to cut it down a little bit. The inside of this guitar is a little bit of a mess, so I'm going to try to clean it up. This nut came off, and it's an old wood nut. You might be able to see how torn up it is. I think I'm going to just make a new one for it. So I think that's kind of what we're looking to do on this. I think I'm going to actually start making sure these frets are level. There's quite a bit of fret on there, so I'm just going to give them a light leveling, make sure everything's good, and then I'll get started on probably the nut.
Lately the signs upon your face match the signs on the road I take. Slow down, don't turn left, dead end ahead. The caution light is lit as we head for the last exit. But I wonder what I'd find if I could drive through your mind.
I wonder what I'd find if I could drive through your mind. Would the road be rough or paved? Can your love for me be saved?
While I was cleaning out the inside, I noticed a little crack, so I'm looking at it on the back here. I think I'm going to put some tape along both sides and just run a bead of super glue down it. I'm not sure that it's actually open, or that it might have been closed before, but that's what I'm going to do.
Either way, it's the same old love, but I wonder what I'd find if I could drive through your mind.
So I've got some light strings for this guitar. When I start putting strings on it, I can see where the action is and what needs to come down where. But before I do that, I think I want to put some boiled linseed oil on not just the fretboard, but I'll probably do the whole top. This old guitar, I think the boiled linseed oil will help everything. It'll just look a lot nicer with it. I believe it's time to try some strings on here.
Each day on the interstate, as I'm pulling a load of freight, I think of you with each passing sign I see. The road ahead looks rough, and the travel will sure be tough. But I wonder what I'd find if I could drive through your mind.
I wonder what I'd find if I could drive through your mind.
So I've got all the strings on here, and they're almost up to pitch. They're close, you know. Close enough that the tension is pretty much right. So I'm measuring the string height at the 12th. And it's pretty ridiculously high. That's, I think on the bass side it's 130 thousandths. On the treble side it's more than 150 thousandths. So to get it where we want it, we would have to take close to 100 thousandths off. I mean basically the whole thing on the bridge, and I'm not sure we're going to be able to do that. That's just going to cut that bridge down too short, I think. Numbers I came up with, I wouldn't have to take 100 thousandths off the bass side, but I would have to take more than that off the treble side. And I just don't think we have that kind of height on the bridge to take off. Well, maybe we do. I want to ask Jerry before I go taking off 100 thousandths on the bridge. So I think, seeing as it's late in the day, I'm going to stop on this one. Wait for Jerry to come back, decide how much we can realistically take off that bridge. So I've gone ahead and taken off as much as Jerry suggested taking off of here. We've got it pretty much as low as it's going to get. But we'll come back to that in a minute. Right now I've got some pure alcohol in this little cup. And what I'm trying to do now is take some of this paint off here. We've already tried this out on the side and it's worked pretty well. So I'm just kind of rubbing it off there, you can kind of see it's starting to come off. As long as I'm careful, I think I can get a lot of this extra white paint somebody put on here off.
Be rough or pay, should your love for me be saved? Highway, gravel road, either way it's the same old load. But I wonder what I'd find if I could drive through your mind.
So since I took the paint off this, I'm going to go ahead and give it another good wiping down with the boiled linseed oil. I think it's going to help clean it up just a little bit more, and it'll just look a little better. I think it's looking pretty good. So another good thing to check before I mark this off as finished is, since we put the new nut in here, I need to make sure that there's not any sharp edges you might hit your hand on. So I'm taking my little file here and making sure all of the corners are rounded off.
There's no way he could love you like I do. Even though the light is lit and
there we go. Well, our singing cowboys may sing again. We've got this thing all strung up. It's in tune. You just saw me clean this up with some boiled linseed oil. The last thing I did was I got a new strap button end pin for this. And I suppose it's just like the one that came out of it. It's got the little screw plastic piece. Since it was missing, went ahead and just had one, put it in. I'm going to play it a little bit so you can hear what it sounds like. Well, there we go. Give you one more good look at this thing. And I think it turned out pretty good, considering the way it came into us. We did the best we could with what we had. Lowering this bridge down, it's pretty low now, but it doesn't look wrong for as low as it is. I think we've done the best we can with this guitar. I think the customer will be happy with the way his first guitar ended up. Thanks for watching. If you would, give us a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, please do. Well, I was getting ready to pack up the Singing Cowboys guitar, and I noticed this case is kind of falling apart, and there's not much sense in sending back a guitar we did so much work on in a junk case. So I'm going to see if I can't get these attached again. Jerry gave me some directions on how to do this, and I'm going to start by taking out these bottom kind of rivet pieces.
I still wonder what I'd find if I could drive through your mind.
I wonder what I'd find if I could drive through your mind. Would the road be rough or paved?
So I cut out these little pieces of aluminum. I traced this part of the hinge on it so I could match the holes and get it about the right size. So now what I'm doing with this is I'll stick it on the inside and I'll run these pop rivets through, get it all lined up, and then we'll pop the rivets and that'll hold that. And now with this on the inside, it won't just tear out. It should hold it nice and tight. I've already done this one just to make sure I could do it. Jerry showed me how to do the first one. I did the second one. It's looking pretty good. So now we're going to do these two.
Would your love for me be saved? A highway or gravel road, either way it's the same old road. But I wonder what I'd find if I could drive through your mind.
There we go. Well, those two pieces of tape help cover it up. That way you run less of a risk of scratching anything, and it kind of covers it up. Blacken the case, looks a little better. So I'm gonna finish this up, putting the guitar in the case. Man, does that work better. And There we go. Sends it on its way.